Hey guys, thank you for tuning into another episode of The Peel on the Beautiful Game Network, now on the Beautiful Game Network, sponsored by Roughneck Scarves. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get notified whenever we do post content on our YouTube channel. Also, go ahead and hit that like and share button as well. If you're listening to the podcast, be sure to like and follow us on all our podcast sites, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud. We also do have tips available thanks to Stream Elements. See the link in the description below to contribute to our show. Finally, be sure to give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Peel05. Go ahead, Edson. But congratulations, Josh, Amber. He's already adorable. So. Yeah, the fourth album. Well, no, he's probably going to replace one of us. Probably me. Josh hates me. So. Oh, look. Okay, hold on. Pause. I'm not from Philly. I'm from Delaware. I just rep Philly. Oh God, I hate you all. God.
What's
So,
a Delaware? Honestly,
what's a Delaware? I don't know. Well, your Texas education failed you here. Okay, so
you know what I mean. You're not wrong.
No, you know how many times when I was a kid, I'd come down here, to visit my mom, and where are you from? Delaware? Where's that? Are you kidding me? You're really gonna ask me where Delaware is? I don't know. It's the first state. So, but hey, guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously the horrible letdown against Portland. Hey, FYI, Edson, Josh cannot hear you.
That's fixed.
Oh, okay, cool. It's fixed. But yeah, it was. I don't even really know what to make of that. So we'll talk about that a little bit, and then we'll dive into what's at stake in the match against LA. We'll do Edson. I'll probably have you do the dash minute.
Mm-hmm.
I know you got some info on that, and then obviously your RGV segment, which I gotta say, out of the two matches this week that I watched, that was definitely one of the better ones. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover real quick.
Well,
No,
first,
that's it. Go ahead.
first of all, I don't know if y'all were paying attention to our social media in the past couple of days, but it's been officialized. We are now part of the Beautiful Game Network. We see a lot of potential in expanding Dynamo coverage, not only within the Dynamo circle, but throughout the soccer circle in American soccer. BGN, as you all probably know, is also the network that Down in the Valley is a part of, and that we're looking to expand not only in USL podcasts and articles, but they're looking to expand into MLS. And we, as a unit, me, Josh, and Justin, we saw an opportunity, to join Beautiful Game Network as their exclusive Dynamo podcast. We took on the opportunity, so now we're part of the Beautiful Game Network, and we can't wait to see what's in store in our future. We're also going to be adding a couple of little tidbits that you will see later on in this show. There'll probably be some hiccups here and there, but it has a lot of potential to add a little bit more in-depth analysis to Dynamo games.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, y'all have grown up so fast, Jorge. There's a lot of congratulations to Josh coming in. And of course, my wife. What's a Delaware? All right. Well, I guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight, so um, I'm okay with that. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. Initial thoughts, just right off the bat, Edson, about the match against Portland.
Well, I mean, you can't be disappointed if you were expecting a different result. That's all. That's pretty much in a nutshell.
Can you be any more passive with it?
What do you mean passive? What do you mean? I'm being aggressive enough as it is. I mean, come on, yes, we had set our predictions that the Dynamo was going to win, but there was one thing I did say was that is if the Dynamo got their act together defensively. If they didn't get their act together defensively, and they didn't, we were gonna have the same old situation, and that's exactly what happened.
Do you have the quote queued up from the press conference with Tab prior to the game?
Do I have the video?
I
don't have it. I don't have it set up to the stream, but I should have. I should have the email that they sent with the quotes on that.
No worries. I'll paraphrase it. We had asked him in the midweek press conference, what does the team have to do to prevent against the through ball that killed them against LAFC, essentially. And he said, well, Portland's a different team. LAFC's, going to be fast on the counter and they're going to beat you like that.
No. Hold on. He said,
here you go. You got the quote.
No, I'm just saying, because there's one thing that I think needs to be emphasized. He said, first of all, I think every defense is having trouble with LAFC's through balls. They did it all of last year. They did it all the year before that. That's how they play. They're able to do that because they have such great possession of the middle of the field and such great wingers who can create. Okay, first of all, this is not a situation, Mr. Tab Ramos, where, everybody's having an issue. Okay, then it's fine of us having the issue. No, if you are identifying this situation, you're going to do your best. I don't care what everybody else, every other defense in MLS struggles with, or if they struggle with the same thing. You're going to fix the situation. You have to fix the situation to make sure it doesn't happen to you, and not just take the situation of, that's just how thing is in MLS. I don't agree with that. Now, continuing on, he says, so they have a great team in terms of how this game is going to be. It's going to be different because Portland is not LAFC. They play different. They try to get you a little bit more on the counter, whereas LAFC, they want to take charge of the game the whole time, so it'll be a completely different game. Oh, and then he finishes off. He says, I wouldn't necessarily take the through balls that we gave up against LAFC as something that's automatically going to happen against Portland.
Yeah. End quote. So good rant, by the way. You haven't had one of those in a while on the show.
Yeah, well,
But Christian says, you mad, bro? Yeah, we have a right to be mad because it's also one of those things. It's the defense has been a question mark on this team for how many years now? How long have you been doing this podcast? It's literally been the same discussion week in, week out on this show. In a nutshell. I mean, maybe a little bit different varieties, but it's still the question mark is still there about the defense. And Eric, they did have 16 shots on goal in the first half, but what did they have to show for it? Mm-hmm. Nothing. And Portland only had 13 total shots on goal. Well, guess what? They had 7 on target. We only had 4. The accuracy wasn't there. And quite honestly, the attack looked fairly weak. It was just ill-timed. The runs didn't look good. And the only time they started creating chances was towards the end of the match when Portland was already gassed. But it just wasn't good enough. And one of the things that stuck out to me, and I was talking to you about, prior to the show, is when, and I don't know if you want to get any of those videos queued up now, but
yeah, I'm getting it ready.
You have, I understand that you want to be a high press team and you essentially want to crash the box, kind of like what they do in hockey a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to leave you extremely vulnerable on the defensive side of the pitch. And go back and watch these last two games, and your wingers playing that high up and expect to not get scored on.
So let's
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Because I was just going to say, let's take a look at the first goal.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, 35th minute, right? You've got almost all of Portland in their own side of the field. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on their side of the field. You've got 5 Dynamo players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Portland side of the field, and you've got three of them all bunched up together. I believe that is Elise right there. Looks like Boniek, and then you've got Adam Lundqvist. Adam Lundqvist is on Portland's side of the field when Portland have the ball and are transitioning to into the attack. Right? So you wonder what is he doing? What is he doing there? Right? So let's continue the play. Oop, I need to switch to, there we go. All right. So there, if you can see right there, they allowed that Portland attacker to turn around and then try and distribute that ball. Right? So instead of putting real pressure and not allowing that player to turn around, I believe it was one of the Charas that made the turn. Right? So we continue the play, and look where Zarek Valentin is. There's Zarek Valentin. I believe this is Minor Figueroa right here. This has to be Matias Vera, and then Lundqvist is all the way over here. If I continue the play a little bit more, look where Struna is. It's not a line. You've got this. And there's so much space on this side of the field where Ebobisse is able to run freely into the box. Not only that, but the lack of pressure in the midfield gave them all of this space to pass that ball through in between Struna and in between Zarek Valentin.
But he's also no spring chicken. You can't leave him hung out to dry like that and expect him to stop everything that's coming his way. It was never going to happen against LA. And it wasn't going to happen with Portland. Portland is fast, unlike people give them credit for. So, Struna playing last man is like rec league. Yeah, look, he's a great defender. He's just not a good defender in that situation. And that situation's been happening way too much. And it dates back all the way to the SKC match. They're put it this way. They play like that again this week, they're going to get bounced out of this tournament. And would you really want to get bounced out against the LA Galaxy, who right now probably has the biggest question marks on them in this tournament?
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know why Tab has had Manor Figueroa playing that high up. You at least need to have 2 defenders that far back. Now, granted, on that play, it might have made a slight difference, but he's also looked like trash. I have not been high on him this tournament so far. Figueroa.
No, definitely not at all. You can see where in a league such as MLS, which tends to be a lot quicker play, his age is starting to become a factor. And the fact is, a lot of people say, well, his lack of acceleration or his lack of speed, he could make up with it with experience and being able to position himself correctly. Well, the way everybody else around him plays, he's usually like left out to dry because nobody else is positioned correctly. So he ends up looking bad because he has to retreat and try to make up ground that Adam Lundqvist leaves ahead. And the second goal is a prime example of this. Let's take a look at that. All right. 60th minute, 61st minute. This is the... Actually, let me hide for a little bit. Let me hide my camera. Right? So look where the Timbers have the ball. Right? And they're going to lob this through ball out into the open space. If I go ahead just a little bit in this play. All right. Here's the interesting part. Was that Ebobise as well, or who was that receives the ball? Do you remember? Okay. Here's something that I saw, and let me return. This guy right here. This guy right here. He started right where Memo was. This is where he started to run the play. When he's here at this point, Adam, he's like, oh snap, I had somebody behind me, and that starts running. Right? So he had all of this space right here, all of this right here as an advantage. By the time Adam reacts, he's already that Portland attacker's already got speed and is already running and already ran past him. Right? And then you notice that Minor, he's gonna, I believe hold on. Let me continue to play a little bit more. Right? So here's my other the other thing that irked me about this play. Okay. So as you can see, Adam is still trying to catch up. Minor's going to try and close the space right here over here. Right? Struna, he can't move over here, even though he kind of does, but he already has somebody that he's going to have to mark. He's got this guy to mark. Right? But you've got him. Who is it? Was that Valeri? You've got Valeri in between these five guys. Vera, instead of hustling to try to catch up with Valeri, he just keeps trotting. He just keeps jogging back into position. And so if you continue the play, look at Vera. Look where Vera is. Like I said, Vera should have been in charge of Valeri. But no, Valeri's right outside the box, receives the ball by himself, leaves three defenders out of the play with just one pass. And Struna has to make up for it and try to reduce the angle on Valeri's shot. But at that point, with a guy like Valeri, nor Memo. Let's be honest. The whole defense. Adam, one of the comments that I made during the game was, when you're playing a back line of four, your outside backs having some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, involvement on the attack should be by surprise. It should not be methodical, because if your tactic relies on having those outside backs go up all the time, you are gonna get burned in the back, and this is exactly what happened. And we'll talk. And there's a quote after the game from Tab Ramos, where I told Justin about it, where it's like, basically he said, "Well, I put up the outside backs because we know that Portland tends to be a little bit more inside of the field. They tend to be more compact, right? They don't tend to be a wide team. So we wanted to bring out the outside backs to kind of help out outside of the wings." But you rewind to Thursday, and you hear him say, "Well, Portland is a counterattacking team," and you're like, "Okay, really, which is it, Tab?" Like, you say you know that they're a counterattacking team, but you're putting all of that space in the back on a silver platter for Portland to take advantage of and score on you. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. A guy that's sitting in his sofa watching these games, it should make even less sense for players and coaches. You hear these two statements by a Tab, and they kind of seem contradictory to each other. What he said on Thursday and what his actual game plan was in the game. Am I insane by saying this? Like, guys in the chat, am I crazy by saying this? Because I feel like very, very little people have mentioned that, like that particular discrepancy of Tab Ramos during the week. Hold on. I think I know why. There we go.
No. Okay. Cool. So I need to know. I cannot talk when the video is playing.
I'll be fixing that for next week. Yes.
Cool. No worries. But I mean, is this something that Tab should remedy? Not. Let me rephrase that. Not should. Is this something Tab, do you think, will remedy heading into the next match, considering the fact that he's been beat on it now in 3 different matches?
Well, you would assume that he would, but then becomes a situation where what if he doesn't have the players necessary for that kind of play style? And it's like Jorge said, our players are not made for that type of lineup, and he's trying to instill that lineup on some players that might be incompatible with his play style.
Then here's my next question. And the great managers around the world, one of two things are going to happen. They're either going to transfer those players out and bring in the players that fit their system, which we all know right now, the transfer window is a little weird right now. Not a whole lot's going on because of COVID. Or do you tweak your tactics to fit the players that you currently have? To me, the second option puts you in a little bit better position to win than getting beat on the same thing week in and week out.
I'd go with the latter as well. I mean, you have to make do with what you have.
Yeah.
You can't just impose your style on players that are not used to it. You have to sometimes adapt with the play style that was already been imposed by the previous coach, and then in the transition year, little by little, kind of impose your style. But if you're trying to impose your style like right off the bat, a lot of players are going to be confused. Players are going to not understand how exactly you want to play. Sure, we have players up in front that I think will fit the play style. With obviously Albert Elise, Darwin Quintero, Memo, and Mauro, but it's the back that is the issue. Our back isn't fast enough to deal with the constant moving up, moving down that Tab Ramos is requiring from our outside backs, and our center backs are not fast enough to cover ground that our outside backs are leaving out in the back. Look, if you're going to be using outside backs, like I said, number one, you can't be doing it as a tactical thing, like play after play. It has to be by surprise. You have to catch them by surprise, similar to what Rob Coronado does at RGVFC. It's not, he doesn't go up every time to go out on the attack. It's only like, for example, if the situation allows having him go up when he knows he's got somebody else in the back to cover his space that he knows he's going to leave behind when he goes up to attack, then yes. But if you're going to be going, especially when you've got both of them, Zarek and Adam, going up into the attack, and you saw in that first goal, and even in the second goal, you only had Maynor, you only had Struna in the back to cover not only the central, but then and so that leaves a huge gap for quick players like Portland, like LAFC has, to take advantage of of that space. Because by the time your players react, because they're out of position, they have to make up ground for that, and then they react late to what's going on. That's a lot of time they have to make up, and it's just not going to happen. And what happens? You see that in goal number 2.
So real quick, Jorge with next match with no Elise, which, in case you did not know, he picked up two yellow cards towards the end of the match, and the second one was just stupid. And so he did get a red card. He will also be out for the next match against LA Galaxy. The Dynamo did try to appeal it, but no avail. So Jorge says,
"Are you surprised though, with Elise doing that kind of stuff?"
No, not at all.
Like seriously, seriously, get your act together, Elise. It's like you had just been carded. You had just been carded a minute before.
Dumb.
Yeah,
and
but
it's
even
not
then,
even like it was an accidental yellow.
No.
It was a blatant foul.
You want me to be honest? You want me to be honest in why I think that that the ref gave him a second yellow? Because he did this motion of kind of like where everybody knows that's like insulting the ref, right? And of course, maybe if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have gotten the yellow. But when he saw that, and you had just given him a yellow a minute before, of course you're gonna give him the yellow. He didn't. That means that he didn't learn, from that first yellow. So at the end of the day, Elise's hot-headedness comes to bite us in the butt once again.
So a couple things in the chat real quick. Do you think our lack of defense will be a big enough weakness against LA Galaxy? LA Galaxy is a team hurting, so they're going to look to find any hole in the Dynamo's defense to exploit. And honestly, what Edson pointed out, it's huge. 3 teams have already done it this season. So plus the LA Galaxy is looking for a revenge for that draw on opening day. So,
and not only that, even though the score says 6-2 between in El Tráfico, I'm gonna say LA Galaxy plays better without Chicharito than with having Chicharito. It looks
like the same thing. Isn't that the same thing with El Tri?
You can say that, but the point is that. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to be honest, LA Galaxy did not look bad. It was not until they had their third go-ahead goal called off by an offside, and then right off the bat, Bradley Wright Phillips scores the 3. That's where the momentum, that's where the confidence in LA Galaxy just plummeted, and they couldn't recover from that. And LAFC, being LAFC, took advantage of that situation. So right now, LA Galaxy is... they're on their last stand right now, right? So at this point, they're not. If they lose, I mean, okay, they've already lost the last 2. But if they win, they have a slim chance of making it to the next round, you know. So at this point, they're just gonna go guns blazing, and if the Dynamo continue to leave those kind of spaces behind, they're gonna take advantage of it. And the fact is, without Elise, our offense has just been whack. Like honestly.
So a couple other things real quick. The 2021 Jorge says 2021 team will be a home different team. 6 players contracts expiring. Many teams' options will be declined if we lose out. I agree. In regards to AJ De La Garza, he did know when to attack, and it was just the same thing with Beasley. Beasley could play deep and then turn around. All of a sudden, he's in the attack. But he was actually, he was a difference maker on the pitch. Christian, we have to remember that he's playing with a group of players that aren't his.
Which is why we said, if you know that those kind of players aren't yours and they aren't compatible with your system, don't impose your system on players that are not going to be able to understand that system, especially in such a short tournament like MLS is back. Now, once the regular season starts back up again, okay, then you have a bigger leeway in order to impose that system. But in this situation, in this format, you need results now, and right now, you're not getting the results that you need.
Mr. Javier, there should be certain conditions so the back players can go off field. I totally agree. If you're beating a team off the counter and they're dead to rights, then definitely push all your people up into the attack, because you're going to have the upper hand at that point. I guess let's go back real quick. Let's look at the predictions. We all got our asses handed to us this week, except for Eric. Eric actually picked a correct scoreline as well, 2-1 Portland. So we all take the L this week. We're actually not doing that good, Edson. I think we all have one correct result, and the rest have all sucked. So
look, that's what I get for not being a negative Nancy. Okay. Everybody's like, well, because everybody's like, why always choose for them to lose? Well, there's a specific reason why, and that's because this team has not been.
Yeah. So with that, where'd it go? With that loss, all time Dynamo, they currently sit at 165 wins, 161 losses, 132 draws. Guys, I actually, 165 wins, 163 losses, and 134 draws. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The Dynamo only win about 50.2% of their matches. It's not a good look. Turning into a stats guy. Kind of a nerd. Hopefully they can turn it around, because right now they're on pace to have one of the worst seasons so far in club history.
But you know what the interesting part is that even through it all, there's still an opportunity for the Dynamo to finish second out of the group.
Where it says another Houston average team. So currently 4 matches played. Dynamo are sitting at 2 losses, 2 draws. They do have a -5 goal difference. They're 11th currently on the MLS table. Group F, they're currently sitting 3rd. 1 win, 1 draw. Takes us to our match against LA Galaxy on Thursday, July 22nd, 7 o'clock our time on FS1 and TDN. They are going to be taking on the 12th place in the West, LA Galaxy. 3 losses, 1 draw, and they're currently sitting in last in Group F. They got smacked down pretty hard last week, or this weekend, 6-2 against LA.
All right, so let's play a little game here. Chat and everybody, including you.
Hold on, Edson. I'm gonna pause you real quick.
Yeah.
Christian says we should have the dash play the Galaxy. They'd probably actually get the win.
Hey, I mean, probably, maybe. I don't know. At this point. But yeah.
Yeah, Edson, what were you saying?
So let's make a quick little game here.
So I like games.
All right. So we're down to the last week in Group F, right? So we've got Portland Timbers and LAFC. and then Houston Dynamo and LA Galaxy. Chat, you guys can participate as well. I've got a workbook right here that shows that pretty much I can input predictions, and it'll update what all the stats, points, goals in favor, goals against, goal difference. Now remember, guys, that the order of tiebreakers, it's points, then goal difference, then goals in favor, and then this whole thing with the what's it called? The fair play average or something like that, right? The fair play point system.
Least amount of yellow cards or something like that.
Yeah, but it's
essentially what it breaks down to.
Yeah, it's basically a point system, right?
Yeah.
So if you have the least amount of points, then you have the advantage. All right. So currently we've got Portland Timbers with 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 6 points, 4 goals in favor, 2 goals against, goal difference of 2. Right. LAFC, they've got 4 points, 9 goals in favor, 5 goals against, with a +4. Houston Dynamo's got 1 loss and 1 draw with 1 point, 4 goals in favor, 5 goals against, -1 difference. LA Galaxy, like you mentioned, 2 losses, 3 goals in favor, 8 goals against, -5 goal difference. All right. So the 2 games that are left, you got Portland Timbers versus LAFC, Houston Dynamo versus LA Galaxy. Justin, I'll start with you. What is your prediction for Portland Timbers versus LAFC?
I actually think that's going to be a battle. I think Portland has a lot to prove because I think everybody slept on them in this group. And I'm not saying people slept on the Dynamo, but I'm saying the sleeper team in this group was Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that I'm not going to say they win, but they're going to get it's going to come down to, I think, a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Houston Dynamo versus LA Galaxy. What is your prediction?
God, that one's actually tough. So LA Galaxy's beatable. Chicharito's going to be out. They're saying he could be out for 2 to 4 weeks. The team has looked shaky for a good portion of this tournament. Let's see. I think it comes down to a draw. I think the Dynamo right now are in love with draws, and I think it's going to come down to a 2-2 draw, ultimately ending their time in this tournament.
Yep, pretty much. With those results, let me just sort the range. Points, and then by goal difference, and then sort by goals in favor. So with those results, really doesn't change much. Portland will finish with 7 points. LAFC would finish with 5 points. Houston Dynamo only with 2, and then LA Galaxy with 1. And that more than likely is not going to be enough to have you advance as one of the top 4 third place finishers, especially with the fact with the other third place finishers so far. And this is based on the latest scores since after the El Tráfico, or when the Tráfico ended. So there's been scores that have probably been updated that I haven't done so already. But you've got Inter Miami had 3 points, right? Because they beat. No, that's not right. Did they beat? They didn't play NYCFC yet, right? I don't know why I have that on here. Or have they?
That was the match this morning.
What was the score against them?
Hold on, I'm going back because I was out and about this morning. Of course, it's not going to pop up. Come on.
Oh, the NYCFC won 1-0. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, it's not popping up.
Okay. All right. So, and then Philly and Orlando are playing right now. So you've got so they're out of the question because 0 points. Vancouver Whitecaps. This should be blank. I think I was doing some testing some stuff. Vancouver Whitecaps have or Seattle 1 point. But anyways, I think I saw somewhere that I think they need at least 4 points in order to have a shot of making.
Vancouver?
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about the Dynamo in order to make it to the top third.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they need to win and then hope that Portland Timbers defeat LAFC as well.
Mm-hmm. But, I know LAFC will advance with a loss of no more than 7 goals. So, Houston, though, but, I mean, let's face it. I mean, don't worry about goal difference. You have to just go out and win. You can't play for a draw, and you can't play for a loss. Dynamo have to win this game. There's no way around it. What do you think the Dynamo, short of tactics, what is one thing the Dynamo have to... Let me rephrase that. What's the one thing you're looking forward to for the Dynamo in this match against LA?
I want to see Memo step up. First of all, I want to see Darwin Quintero. I want to see Memo and Darwin out on the wings, and have Vera and Boniek just deal with helping out the defense. And with having Darwin Quintero and Memo out on the wings, not have Zarek Valentin or Adam Lundqvist go up so much. Just, I think Jorge mentioned that seeing more of a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1 against LA Galaxy rather than the tactics that Tav has been trying to achieve in these past 2 matches.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get down real quick to the predictions. Let's see. We all sucked last week, but I think because I'm going to continue going first only because I did predict the last correct score line. I'm going to go 2-2 draw. I think there's not a whole lot to be high on this team right now defensively, and the attack has been, I don't want to say shaky, but they haven't had the potential that we know that they have. They haven't shown it, at least. Well, what do you got, Edson?
0-0 draw.
Ouch.
And that's because...
I think that's even worse.
And that's because Morrow has been invisible throughout this tournament.
Yeah. Josh did give us his prediction. He is saying 3-1 LA.
Oof.
Yeah. That would suck too, because the LA Galaxy almost have... I mean, they're dead to rights. They're not... They can't advance. They're already eliminated, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, they're eliminated regardless with a loss or a draw. So if they win, they
would have some hope. They would have some hope. But they would have to see what the upcoming matches before the LA Galaxy match, how that would place every other group.
Gotcha. But
because you can actually have it, you can have a combination. You can probably have a combination where no matter what LA Galaxy does, they would automatically be eliminated by the time they start the match.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add for the upcoming match against LA?
No, I think we said all that we needed to say, and the fact
our shows are so much better when the team wins.
No, I actually want to say that our shows are more realistic when the team loses, because it puts us back on the ground rather than fill us with hope that this team is going to improve.
Trying to be glass half full there, okay?
Look, we already have enough people that have a glass half full mentality, so we need to be realistic.
Let's I mean, and it's funny because growing up where I grew up, we're all pessimists. The Eagles are always going to be trash. We'll say, oh, yeah, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. First loss in the season. We're like, oh, we need to fire everybody. I've lived with the Union being absolute shit for how many years? And they're finally decent, but I'm still not super high on it. Because I'm like, it's just a matter of time before they Union everything and they fall apart in the middle of the season like they have years past. But I'm just trying to be optimistic for Houston. It's my alter ego, so I could be that. I don't have to be the Debbie Downer for Philadelphia.
I don't know, man. And I think regarding one of the comments before regarding that, well, we have like a lot of players that are. Oh, Brutus tips has just tipped $5.11. Thank you for
My
that.
dog. My
Yes.
dog has tipped $5.11.
Thank you, my little dog nephew Brutus, for that donation of $5.11. By the way, guys, if you guys want to donate, the link is down there in the description. We'd greatly appreciate it. You don't have to; it's not mandatory or anything like that. But it really does help us out, promote our show on with Facebook ads and the sort.
And like I said, we're working on trying to get koozies and stuff together. It's been a little weird because of COVID, but that is definitely in the works. Now that we have a little bit different logo as well, it actually makes it easier for us to get vinyls. So that's coming soon. But Edson, I'll let you go ahead and give us our Dash update for today.
All right. So, whereas the Dynamo are just filling us with despair and worries, the Dash are actually giving us a little bit of hope. To be honest, they have advanced. Even though the format is completely different than what the NWSL usually is, I mean, they have advanced to the semifinals of the NWSL of any kind of format for the first time in all of the franchise history. They will be playing on Wednesday. I believe it's going to be at 9 p.m. Central. They are playing Portland Thorns in the semifinals of the NWSL Challenge Cup. They defeated Utah Royals in the quarterfinals. It was a really, really risky match. The referee completely lost control of that match, and Utah Royals took advantage of that. Fouling when the ball was in play. Dangerous fouls sometimes. First of all, in the first half, there was a blatantly missed penalty call against Utah Royals on, I believe, it was on Brianna Visali, where Brianna Visali gets to the ball before Abby Smith, the keeper, first, and Abby Smith steps on Bri Visali inside the 18-yard box. She was the last woman, right, on a what's the term that they use, the goal scoring opportunity.
Yes, she was denied a goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, denial goal scoring opportunity.
Yep.
And the referee calls a free kick from outside the box and only gives a yellow to the keeper. And then in the second half, you had a situation where Megan Oyster, when the ball was already out of play, both the Utah attacker and Megan Oyster had slid, but Megan Oyster was on top of the attacker, and so the attacker pulls on Megan Oyster, causing her an awkward movement that causes her to actually get a fractured rib. She had to go to the hospital right after the game. They diagnosed her with a fractured rib, and so she will probably be out in the semifinal. By the way, no card on that play either.
Nope.
In the end, 0-0 draw. They go into penalties. Jane Campbell, being Jane Campbell, makes 2 penalty saves, and the Dash win it in penalty kicks to move on to the semifinals of the NWSL Challenge Cup.
So, let me ask you real quick: Does this team have what it takes to go forward and win this title?
With the fact that the North Carolina Courage is out of the equation, I think they have a chance.
Yeah,
they have been the most fun. And not just Dash fans are saying it, but people around the NWSL, even Meg Liddingham and other NWSL pundits have said that the Dash have been the most fun team to watch in this tournament. And I think they're starting to get the hang of it defensively as well. So that gives a hope.
The $5.11 was in honor of Josh Neighbors' baby, since he was 5 pounds 11 ounces.
Yeah. By the way, guys, by the way,
Go ahead.
guys, be sure to like this video if you haven't done so already. If you guys are new to this channel, subscribe and click on the little bell, and you will get notifications every time we do go live or we upload a video
There you go.
or anything like that.
I guess Edson, we'll close it out. You got 5 minutes again on the floor. It's like Congress. 5 minutes again on the floor. Go ahead and give us our RGV update.
All right, so RGV update. We've got so yesterday RGVFC Toros played their first South Texas Derby match of 2020.
Take that, Harry.
San Antonio got the lead only 3 minutes into the match. Basically, the most dynamo way possible under Tab Ramos. Long ball that they were not able to defend. Scored by Christian Pirano. They had some opportunities, even though the defense or the midfield was completely horrid. Their transition from defense to attack was bad. Like, they were losing the ball thanks to the high pressure that San Antonio was trying to instill on RGV. So they were forcing RGV to miss some easy passes. But RGV had some opportunities in the first half. Tyberson hit one to the post in the first half, I think around the 29th minute or something around there. Second half, in the 48th minute, you had Tyberson once again with another opportunity. This time it was saved. But then as the second half went on, San Antonio, keep in mind this was their first official match back from the break. They had a bye last week. Their fitness was the players were cramping. They were getting tired. They were starting to fall back. So that was giving the initiative for the Toros to attack and attack and attack and attack, and kind of put pressure on Dane Sinclair's goal. Stoppage time comes by, and they literally had 6 shots on goal that were either saved by the keeper or cleared on the line by the San Antonio defense. And it was until the 94th minute with Tyberson with an authentic golazo, like in a similar style as that shot in the first half, but this time instead of hitting the post, it goes in. It was just amazing.
A beauty.
It was a beautiful goal. If you guys have not seen that goal, be sure to check it out because it was amazing, and it's something that we've needed at RG. We need players that are confident enough to shoot from outside the box. Honestly, the results when how things are going, I'm not happy with the fact that you gave San Antonio so much life in the first half and you're able to only get 1 point at home, especially with such a short season. You can't lose points at home, and then you've got a match right away on Wednesday against OKC Energy, and then coming back on Saturday to San Antonio to play the second South Texas Derby of the season.
There you go. I'm not gonna lie. I follow the stats of RGV, through FootMob or whatever, and I don't get a chance to really watch too many of their matches, but I needed something refreshing because the few matches I have watched. Let's see, I watched the first match of this season. We're not going to talk about that, and then we're gonna the beginning of this match. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm going to watch. And it was very refreshing to see the end of that match, to see the Toros turn that around. I might be back for the next one on Wednesday.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll probably see some sort of rotation on the squad, but I think the match to look out for would be the Saturdays, once again against San Antonio FC. And this week, because of the midweek match, Down in the Valley will be airing live on Thursday at 7 p.m. Not on.
So check it out, guys. Make sure you check out Edson's podcast too, also on BGN as well. A lot of good stuff over there, especially on the USL side for soccer podcast and your USL news. Well, got anything else to add, real quick? At all?
I think
nothing. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in again. I got to do the business side of things. Don't forget again to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you're listening to the podcast. Hit that like button and follow us on all our hosting sites: Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud. Also, if you're tired of the same old uniforms, the cookie cutter templates from Nike and Adidas? Are you looking for a unique and completely custom kit for your youth club, Sunday league squad, adult, or even pro team? Icarus FC can help you create kits of your dreams at an affordable price. Let them help you design your new kit or new custom kits today at icarusfc.com. The jerseys that the Surge put out they are made by icarusfc.com, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And actually, it's going to be a great thing to read a sponsorship and actually be able to rep the product too. So
you know what the best part for you is that Icarus FC is a company from Philadelphia.
I didn't even realize that. Look, I'm new at all this. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, the official scarf supplier of MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get your custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Good show. I should have this podcasted within the next couple hours, and be ready. Again, Josh and Amber, congratulations on the little one. Can't wait to go spend some time with them, see the baby. So, yeah, can't wait.
Definitely, and hopefully we get a positive result on Thursday. But I'm not holding hopes up for that. And one thing I did want to say was I know I saw comments regarding I was going to say the players that are going to be losing their contracts gives the Dynamo an opportunity to kind of refresh the squad.
Yeah.
With Matt Jordan still in the helm as the general manager, I am not keeping my hopes up on that either. So
let's save that conversation for next week, and we'll dive into that too, pending the result of this next match. When will you all start selling merch? That David, that's still kind of up in the air right now. The koozies should be soon, and I'm still debating if I want to sell them or have them kind of as a giveaway. I know selling them would probably be the best thing, but I'm talking like $5. Like $5 gets you like 2. So there's that. I know we're also probably going to be working on possibly stickers and some other things. But like I said, it's all up in the air right now. We're still working through the whole COVID thing and how all that's going to work. But yeah, so there's that. I think it's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you guys again for listening to another edition of The Peel on Beautiful Game Network. It's going to do it for me. I'm Justin.
And I'm Edson. And on behalf of Josh, and we wish y'all a very good week and hope to see you on the next one.
Yep. Forever Orange, Peel out.